Welcome to the Free Truth Show on tnsradio.com.
That's right, we do. It's www.intforecaster.com. And very simply, the email address, and we answer everybody's questions, bob@intforecaster.com. And all you have to do is go to either, and we'll send you a free copy. And if you're in North America, you can call toll-free if you'd like, and that's good for people who are not on the Internet. That number is 877-479-8178. That's 877-479-8178. It's toll-free, and they have an offer there for a free one-year subscription if you're interested in that. And, of course, there's terms to it, and you'll find out. But give them a call. It's the best offering that I've ever seen in the newsletter industry.
It's a superb website. I've been going through it today, and forgive me, I've saved a few things in my WordPad here. I wanted to go over a couple of points that you mentioned in it, and you're probably the best man to talk about it as you wrote this. And it's one of the most superb articles I've read in a long time. Each edition just blows me away, really. It's top-class journalism. Very shortly, J.P. Morgan will be sued in class action by big players that have been criminally screwed in the silver markets, and this could be the catalyst that finally blows the whole precious metals fraud wide open. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Well, what happened was on the LBMA in London, there was a trader named Andrew Maguire. He's still there. And he went to the CFTC, which is a government regulatory agency in the United States. It's called Commodity Futures Trading Corporation. And they're the ones that oversee the legality of the operations of COMEX in New York. And this LBMA trader overheard a drunken conversation in London, which he reported to the CFTC as to when J.P. Morgan Chase was going to rig the market, how they were going to do it, and everything else. So we laid all the information over, and they didn't do a thing about it. Yeah. And it went off exactly the way he presented it. So now the information has become public because it was given at the CFTC meeting. The U.S. Justice Department has a criminal investigation going, although I expect nothing to happen criminally because they are top Illuminati people and they're the largest holder of shares in the Federal Reserve. But the CFTC has been forced to bring a civil lawsuit or investigation thereof against them. But privately, we have law firms in New York that are putting together lawsuits against Morgan, and they're class action suits. And they should be ready to start coming in a month or so. And once that happens, the public's going to find out for sure what went on. And I don't think they can avoid the suits.
Well, Goldman Sachs is J.P. Morgan, yeah? They're all kind of intricately linked.
They're two different firms, but they're very close and cooperate with one another. And Goldman Sachs is the second largest holder of stock in the Federal Reserve, and Citigroup is the third. And there's others as well. But they're the top three. And so America is run by a financial oligarchy of major brokerage and banking firms. And if you noticed in the fiasco that they created, the public wasn't bailed out at all, only the lenders.
Yeah. And they gave themselves nice big fat bonuses to boot.
Oh, they make trillions of dollars. Their wealth is inestimable.
Yeah.
It's just like the Queen of England. She's worth hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, they have all the wealth and all the money. They always have had. It's a power thing. I wanted to just I didn't want to brush over it, but I wanted to spend a bit more time on it. But as I was asking you earlier, you've looked into the mindset of these people. We know that it's psychopathic, that their system is set up in a psychopathic fashion, that it's collectivism. The Soviet model seems to be their most prized method of bringing in world government. But there's also a satanic element to it, isn't it? It's not about money.
Absolutely.
It's not even about power. It's about control and fear, sacrifice, and dark satanic rituals. How many of these top politicians and top bankers actively engage in the pedophilic satanic ritual? It's disgusting.
Well, I don't know, but a lot of them do, I can tell you that, and the Bush family are the leaders of the pack.
Actually, there was one
and
thing
Henry
you did
Kissinger.
mention
I mean,
on the Alex Jones
Kissinger is
show.
well known all over the world for having those proclivities.
Well, there was one thing you did mention on the Alex Jones show, and he didn't pick you up on it. I wanted to ask you more. You've been in intelligence services, and you know how they operate. And you mentioned that it was well known, and I'm really enjoying saying this on air. You mentioned that it was well known in intelligence circles in America and Israel and England that Gordon Brown, our ex-Prime Minister, was a famous paedophile, along with Kissinger. Can you talk a bit more about that?
I only know what my intelligence sources have told me, and they're very good. And he's also a bisexual as well, and most of these people are. And I get the same information on dear Tony Blair.
Right. Well, Kissinger...
And, of course, you know about Mendelsohn. He's a flamer.
I don't know what a flamer is. Sorry.
That is a term used in homosexual society, we'll call it, that one who is male continually acts out being a female and doesn't try to hide the fact that inside they really think they're a woman and they act like one.
Well, he's always on the Rothschild yacht. He's a Rothschild agent. He's able to waltz in and out of the cabinet of England anytime he likes and yield extraordinary amount of power in Europe. And there's a case in Scotland at the moment regarding Holly Greig, who was a Down syndrome girl who was abused for 14 years by her paedophile father, who used to invite top policemen, judges, social workers all around to engage in abuse on her also. And it's all come out. The brother was found burnt alive in a car under suspicious circumstances. He was daubed with whiskey. He was teetotal, didn't even drink. And the top legal fraternity won't touch it. The newspapers won't touch it because
they'll end up dead.
Gordon Brown and Tony Blair put a 100-year block on the Dunblane shooting, revelations about the Dunblane shooting. A guy walked into a school in Scotland many years ago and mowed down lots of children. It was an absolute, well, it was just mindless violence, and a lot of children and teachers were killed. And it turns out that he was a top Mason who procured children for European businessmen, and Mandelson and Tony Blair, it was just before the Iraq War, were worried that it would bring down their government. They put a 100-year block on it. These are the kind of people we're dealing with, yeah?
Well, 30 years ago, I read a book on the constabulary in England, and 98% of them are Masons.